You will die. So will everyone you have ever loved. For as long as we have buried our dead, one question has refused to stay in the ground. Where did they go? Not the body. The body, we understand. The other thing, the part that was looking out of their eyes, where does that go? Every people who ever lived drew a map of that place, and the maps are far stranger and far more alike than you would think. A hooded ferryman poling a boat across black water, waiting to be paid. A monstrous dog crouched at a gate that only ever opens inward. A golden scale and one small feather weighing the worth of an entire life. A cold gray field where the dead eat clay and slowly forget their own names. These are not one story told 8 ways. They are 8 separate civilizations. Greek, Norse, Egyptian, and 5 more, most of whom never met. And yet, again and again, they drew almost exactly the same country. Same river, same guardian, same judge, same reckoning, same Lord of the dead. By the end of this, you will see it too. The hidden shape underneath every underworld ever imagined by human beings. And it all begins where the oldest maps begin, at the water's edge, ancient Greece. First, a correction. Hades is not a lake of fire. Hades is a person, the grim god who rules the realm that shares his name. When you die, the god Hermes leads your shade down to the border of that realm, a wide black river called the Styx. And there he waits, Charon, the ferryman, hooded, gaunt, and silent, and he does not work for free. The Greeks buried their dead with a coin under the tongue, his fare. Without it, your shade wanders the near shore for 100 years. Across the water stands the gate, and at the gate Cerberus, the 3-headed hound who lets every soul in and lets none back out. Beyond him wait 3 judges, Minos, Rhadamanthus, and Iacchus, kings when they lived, arbiters of the dead now that they are dead. They weigh your life, and they sort you. Because the underworld is not a single place, it has regions. Most of you go to the Asphodel meadows, a gray, endless plain where ordinary souls drift like smoke, neither punished nor blessed. The wicked are cast down into Tartarus, a pit so deep it lies as far below Hades as the heavens lie above the earth. But the heroes, the truly great, cross into Elysium, sunlit fields where the blessed few dwell in peace forever. And over all of it rules Hades, with a stolen queen beside him. Persephone, dragged from the world of light to reign over the dark half of every year. That is the Greek map of the dead. Now travel north into the cold, the Norse world, and here where you go is not decided by how you lived, but by how you died. Forget what the films told you. Valhalla is not where most Vikings went. Valhalla was for the few. Odin's great hall, roofed with shields, where the battle-slain feast and fight each day, waiting for the end of the world. But Odin claims only half of the honored dead. The other half belonged to a goddess. Freyja and her meadow, Folkvangr, the field of the host. Half of all who fall in battle ride to her, not to Odin. And everyone else? The old, the sick, the ones who died quietly in their beds? They travel the long, dark road down to Helheim, the realm ruled by the goddess Hel. Hel, daughter of Loki. Half her body a living woman, half a corpse. She keeps the countless dead who were never chosen. Her realm is no torture pit. It is cold and dim and endlessly still. A quiet you settle into and never leave. Cold as that is, there are worse inns. Travel south now to the burning sands. Ancient Egypt. No people on earth prepared for death more carefully. because to them dying was not the end, it was the start of a journey. Beneath the world lies the Duat, a vast and terrifying underworld of gates, fire, dark lakes, and lurking monsters. Every night the sun god Ra sails his bark through it, aging into an old man, fighting the chaos serpent Apep in the blackness. If the sun itself must battle to cross the Duat each night, imagine the trial waiting there for a single human soul. You pass the gates, you speak the names of their guardians, and at last you arrive in the Hall of Two Truths. There stands Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the dead, beside a great golden scale. On one pan he sets a single feather, the feather of Maat, goddess of truth, justice, and the order of the cosmos. On the other pan he places your heart, for the Egyptians believed the heart held the record of everything you ever did. If your heart is heavier than the feather, weighed down by a lifetime of wrong, then the verdict is final, and it is total. Crouched beneath the scale waits Ammit, crocodile, lion, and hippopotamus, the devourer. She eats the guilty heart, and that soul is erased from existence. But if you weigh light as truth, Osiris, green-skinned lord of the dead, waves you onward into the field of reeds, a perfect Egypt forever. Judgment upon a scale. Hold that image, you will meet it again. Now go east to the very first cities on earth, ancient Mesopotamia, the oldest cities humankind ever built, and perhaps the bleakest vision of death ever written down. They called it Irkalla. The Sumerians called it Kur, the land of no return. There is no reward here, no paradise, no judgment sorting the good from the wicked. Everyone, king and beggar alike, goes to the same gray place. It is a house of dust. The dead sit in the dark, clothed in feathers like ragged birds, eating clay, drinking muddy water. Ruling it is Ereshkigal, the cold, unyielding queen of the dead, in her palace behind 7 locked gates. We know those gates because of one story. Her own sister came down, Inanna, the radiant goddess of love and war. At each of the 7 gates, a guard stripped one thing from her, crown, jewels, robe, until she stood naked and powerless before the throne. Ereshkigal fixed her with the eye of death, struck her down, and hung her corpse upon a hook like meat. Inanna was freed only when the gods sent help, and only by sending another soul down to take her place among the dead. For in the land of no return, the law is simple and merciless. Someone must always remain. Now turn east again toward a wheel that never stops. India. Here, death is not a destination at all. It is a doorway, one you have already walked through 1,000 times before. When you die, you are brought before Yama, the Lord of Death, and the very first mortal who ever died. Because he died first, he alone found the road to the other world, and so he became the king who rules everyone who follows him down it. Beside him stands Chitragupta, his divine accountant, holding a ledger where every deed of your life is written, every kindness, every crime. There is no lying to the book. It has already recorded you, and by the book you are judged. The wicked descend into Naraka, the many-layered hells, where each particular sin meets its own exact and fitting punishment. But even Naraka is not forever. It is a sentence, not a doom. When the debt is fully paid, you are released. And then the wheel turns. Samsara, the endless cycle. You are reborn, your next life shaped by the karma you carried out of this one. Judged, punished, released, reborn. Not an ending, an orbit. Now cross the ocean to the Americas, the Aztec world. Here, a single question decided your entire afterlife, and it was not whether you had been good, it was how you died. Die by water, drowned, or struck by lightning. And you go to Tlalocan, the lush green paradise of the rain god. Die as a warrior in battle on the sacrificial stone, or as a woman in childbirth, and you rise to escort the sun across the sky. But most people, the ones who simply died, face the long descent down into Mictlan. 9 levels down, ruled by Mictlan Tecuhtli, Lord of the Dead, a towering skeleton, crowned and hung with human bone. The journey to the bottom takes 4 full years, and every step of it is a gauntlet. You cross a wide river, carried on the back of a spirit dog. You pass between 2 mountains that clash and grind together. You climb a hill studded with obsidian blades. You endure a wind that hurls knives of stone through the dark. Only after 4 years of trials do you reach the lowest level, and there, at last, your weary soul dissolves into rest. Now sail west, across the Pacific, to Pan. Its oldest myth tells of a husband who loved his wife far too much to let her go. The creator gods, Izanagi and Izanami, made the islands together. Then Izanami died and descended into Yomi, the land of the dead. Izanagi could not bear it. He followed her down into the dark to bring her home. He found her among the shadows and begged her to return. "Wait here," she said, "and whatever you do, do not look at me." But he could not wait. He broke a tooth from his comb, lit it like a torch, and he looked. Her body was rotting, swarming, thunder gods growing out of her decay. The woman he loved was already gone. He fled in horror, and she, shamed and enraged, sent the shrieking hags of the underworld racing after him. He escaped up the great pass and rolled a boulder across the mouth of Yomi, sealing the living away from the dead forever. There is no coming back. That boulder still stands between the 2 worlds. Now, our final map. China. China. Perhaps the most bureaucratic underworld ever imagined. Death rendered as a court system, complete with paperwork. It is called Diyu, and when you die, you do not face 1 judge. You face 10. 10 courts, 10 kings, each ruling a single level, each presiding over a different kind of sin. Above them all sits Yanluo, the king of the dead. And here is something strange. Yanluo is Yama, the Indian lord of death, carried east along the roads of Buddhism, crossing into a new empire under a new name. Court by court, your deeds are tried, and the punishments fitted precisely to your crimes, until every last debt is repaid. Because Diyu too is not the end. It is a purge, not a prison, and when it is done, you are sent back to be reborn. But first, one final station. An old woman waiting at a bridge, Mung Po. She hands you a bowl of soup, the broth of forgetting. You drink, and every memory of this life dissolves away. Then you cross her bridge into a new body, remembering nothing at all, and the wheel turns once again. 8 civilizations. Some never knew the others existed, and yet, look closely at what they each built. Almost everyone begins at a threshold, a river to cross, a gate, a mountain pass, a bridge, a hard border between the living and the dead. Almost everyone posts a guardian upon it. Charon at the Styx, Cerberus at the gate, Nedi at the 7 gates, the scale in the hall. Almost everyone seats a judge in the dark, Minos, Osiris, Yama, the 10 kings of Diyu, and so many of them weigh you. A heart against a feather, a ledger of every deed, a court of exact and final accounts. and every single one crowns a ruler of the dead: Hades, Hell, Ereshkigal, Osiris, Mictlan, Yama, a figure enthroned in shadow, a threshold, a guardian, a judge, a reckoning, a king. 5 doors, drawn again and again by people who never compared their notes. Maybe it is only coincidence. Maybe every human mind, staring into the same dark, simply builds the same architecture out of the same fear. Or maybe they were all sketching the outline of something genuinely there, glimpsed from far off, and copied down in 8 different hands. Either way, one day you will learn which it was. We all do. The one question the dead cannot send back to us is which map was right.